Welcome to Your Music Saved Us, where two friends blast ourselves into the past to relive and recontextualize the alternative Christian music we grew up listening to in the 1990s. My name is Jay, and I'll be your host for today. Joining me is someone who's, well, I don't know, maybe okay to say, but he's got a little inflammation, a little elevation, and he's praying that God will take him away. But for now, he's still here. So Clifton, how are you?
Good. I do have some inflammation, and I should get some elevation because I smashed up my toe. I should be elevating it probably, but
Well, we'll get to this, but I'm not sure
my
that's
God,
what they were talking about. You know, we'll see.
Yeah. All right.
Clifton, what are we listening to?
We're listening to the 1999 album Snapcase by pop punk legends that everyone knows, Noggin Toboggan.
Was this hard to find?
No, it's actually easy to listen to. It's everywhere, which is surprising, I guess.
Yeah. Side note real quick. This is on Betty Rocket Records, which is maybe the third release, I think, that we've done by them.
Yeah.
Betty Rocket no longer exists, and yet their albums are up on Spotify.
Yeah.
Hello, other non-existing record labels. Could you please put them up there? Because it is a pain in the ass to listen to shit when it's not there.
It's true. Yes. We'll say that about Betty Rocket. They have made their stuff easily available these days.
Okay, Clifton. Another question. Was this played in youth group?
I don't know. Like, I was gone.
Yeah. This is right at the end. We both
Yeah.
graduated in 99. So this is like right at the end. It's hard to know.
I don't know. I don't remember this came out in the first half of 1999, which we would still have been in high school. But yeah, I don't know. Probably not, because it's
probably not. This
like,
is another case of having one of those cool youth pastors or interns that might have played it, but otherwise, probably not.
Yeah.
Are we getting preached at?
No. I don't think so. There's a lot of preaching type commentary, but it's almost, except for one notable song that we're going to cover, it's almost always like reflective. And so it's not preaching so much as it is internalized.
Yeah. We see that a lot with some of this stuff, right?
We do.
Yeah.
But sometimes they internalize it and then externalize it. This, except for one song we're going to talk about, this stays internalized, I think.
Okay. Fair.
Yeah.
Well, before we go on, I want to remind everyone to visit patreon.com/YMSU to contribute to get extended episodes. I will tell right now on the air, Clifton doesn't know this, but I'm hoping once he watches the new season of Shiny Happy People about Teen Mania, we can talk and reflect a little bit more on that for an episode with our patrons.
Yes, we'll need to do that.
Maybe just for our own sanity.
Yes.
We might even have Chaz from Excommunication Station with us. I don't know, but just to kind of get it out. Anyway, I just watched it last week, and I'll stop there because this is not about that. But we do have extra bonus episodes for patrons, and we really appreciate your support. So thank you out there, all of you. You know who you are. And Clifton, tell us about Noggin Toboggan.
All right, so I'm going to start off with a spoiler, which is the people in the band at the time of this album, which were Jeff Newsom on vocals and guitar, Jeremy Wells on bass and background vocals, and Mike Anderson on drums. Anderson spelled in the Swedish way.
Is that E-N at the end?
Yes, all one A and two E's.
Okay. Proud of myself for knowing that.
Yeah. So here's the really fun thing about Noggin Toboggan. Everyone knows who Noggin Toboggan is. There's nothing out there on them on the internet. I went through my old magazines. I only have magazines up to the end of 1999, and I found one ad about Noggin Toboggan, and that's it. Nothing in the magazines, We did find Noggin Toboggan's website on the Wayback Machine, though. And that is the only information out there on Noggin Toboggan, so we're just going to have to take it with a grain of salt, I guess.
And I will just echo that in preparation for this episode, I also looked a lot, even going back on I like to look at the Christian music, news groups and stuff from way back in the 90s. I couldn't even find anything other than this album is coming out, but nothing
Nobody
substantial
talked
about them there. No.
Oh, that's disappointing.
Yeah, it's just like a black hole. So if anyone listening knows a lot more and we get this wrong, please fill us in.
Yeah. Noggin Toboggan guys, if you're out there, we'd love to talk to you. I think
sure.
You haven't been doing the podcast things, so whatever your new reality is, 40-something years old and maybe receding hairline, maybe not as punk as you like to think you once were, we're still welcoming of whoever you are.
Yeah.
All right. This is all, like I said, from their website. Noggin Toboggan began in the summer of 1996. And I'm just going to read this because it makes no sense to me. Mike met Jeremy at Atascadero Bible Church. Jeremy told Jeff and Brian McLean about Mike. Jeremy, Jeff, Brian, and Mike jammed around. They recorded their first jam session at Brian's house. Brian thought it would be cool to do a solo project, so he left the band to follow his dream of becoming the master of the recorder. Which is obviously a joke. So there they were, just the three of them. They got their name from Fire Engine Red. They like the name Noggin Toboggan. I assume a Noggin Toboggan is a toboggan for your noggin, which is what are those things called? The hat things.
Yeah, we actually call it toboggan, but like a beanie kind of
beanie,
thing.
Yeah. They began practicing together and also became good friends in the meantime. In 1997, Brian re-enters the band as the master of the recorder. After they went on another few months and recorded a 13-song CD at Moon Studios. They thought they were so cool, but they didn't know that any hotshot with enough cash could record a CD.
Fair.
They had 1,000 CDs pressed and distributed. 1997 rolled around and they were still stupid. They met people and made friends along the way. They played with bands like Jeff's brother's band, Watashi Wa. How do you say that?
I think it's Watashi Wa. I think you're right.
Bixler Pie, Sold Out, Crossed Eye, and The THE. In 1998, they were picked up by the Ministry first Christian label called Betty Rocket Records. After Betty Rocket took the poor lads under their wing, they were now a sorry band with a record contract. And in 1999, they released Snapcase. This album, their first full length.
All right.
Yep. That's all I have.
Well, Clifton, when did this first come into your life? How did you pick this up?
I assume I found it at Mardell.
Christian bookstore.
Yeah, Mardell Christian bookstore. On the shelves, we'll talk about it later, but the cover is pretty obviously punk rock, themed. And it was on Betty Rocket, and who Betty Rocket was at that point, So I don't think I listened to it really much though. Like I probably picked it up over the summer before heading off to college, and I don't think I listened to it really though until the beginning of the school year, 1999 fall. So yeah.
Now, Clifton, we're getting a little personal for a second. I know we don't normally do this as much, but I met you that fall. Mm-hmm. And at that time, the biggest thing I remember is you were really into Jets to Brazil.
That's true.
Were you listening to this at the same time?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know.
Interesting.
It's a little weird. I think they speak to different things that are both relevant to that age.
Okay.
Obviously, one is coming and one is going,
Fair. That's a good way to put it, yeah.
Yeah. Jets to Brazil was definitely on the more mysterious side, especially those early days, like I felt kind of dark listening to Just Brazil, especially that first album. You know?
Oh, sure. Yeah.
It's not the bright, happy stuff that we grew up listening to, right?
Right.
Songs like I Type for Miles or something like that, you know, is a very self-destructive part. Ideas in those songs, you know, mood. And this is very, very different. This is very coming of age, I would say. This album is with one foot still in high school, I think. Yeah.
Okay, that's a good way to put it. Are there any songs that stood out from your memories?
Yeah, definitely. So there's 2 self-titled songs on this album, Noggin Toboggan and Noggin Toboggan 2. Those stood out to me. Day in the Life of, I think, was always one that kind of stood out to me as well.
Well, before we jump in, had you listened to this since then? And like, I know we listened to it in preparation for this, but before that?
Sure. Not really, no. Maybe like once or something like that along the way, like probably when I was working on like comps or something like that to go back over the years, but not regularly like anything else. I remember listening to it once because I heard, and I don't know where this memory comes from, but I heard an early Tullycraft song, Miracles Are Hard to Find, that in my memory hit me as being reminiscent of something I had heard on this album. And so I listened to the album and went back to look for it, and I never could find it. So I don't know I don't know what happened there. But anyways, pointless little story.
I've had stuff like that happen where you're like, I swear this reminds me of so-and-so. And then you go back and listen and you're like,
nope. Not at all.
Yeah. And I don't know if it's just the way it hit you in a similar way at that moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think maybe, you know, like the melodic nature of it maybe had like a similar melodic take, you know, but there's not any moments in this album that really sound like that. So I don't know what I was thinking.
Okay. Well, we're jumping into it now, but before we start on the first song, just overall, you know, how did it hit you now coming back to it? Almost 20 something years later.
26 years later.
Yeah.
I think it's still good, honestly. I don't think it's like the best thing out there by any means, but I think as far as like serviceable pop punk, I have no problem with this album. I'd listen to it, you know, like, I mean, like, I'm not going to listen to it now, you know, because I've got better things to listen to, but,
right.
But like at the time, like, sure, like this is good, you know, they're doing some good things here. We'll talk about it a little bit. They get accused of sounding like MXPX a lot. And I think I've mostly picked the songs that don't sound like MXPX, except for a few that I pulled out as examples of them sounding like MXPX. But I think they do their own thing. I think they have a nice, really melodic flair to them. I think they're really good at melodies, in the same way that I think Value Pack is good at melodies.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I think they did something interesting here.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I had not listened to this ever, and my expectations, I'll be honest, were low because the last thing we had covered on this podcast, Betty Rocket, was Frito Boat, which I did not think was very good.
Sure.
And so I wasn't sure, but I will mostly agree. It was better than I thought it would be. It does. They do sound more like MXPX than like Slick Shoes or something.
Sure.
You know, that we recently did. But yeah, it's not bad. In fact, I would have loved to like, production wise, it could be a little better. It's not terrible, but it's not like amazing. I would have loved to have heard them with like Steve Kravac or somebody that's like produced MXPX to see what it would sound like, you know, with more money behind it and really beefed up. Yeah.
And maybe we'll talk about this more at the end, but there's 22 goddamn songs in this album.
Yeah.
And it's too many. Like, you can hear them get bored with themselves in the early parts of the second half of the album.
You wonder if they'd had like
second half of the album.
If they'd had like a more hands-on producer more.
Yes.
I did look it up. So just before we start, the guy who like kind of engineered it is Andy Ernst, who is kind of a musician engineer guy from San Francisco area. And they recorded this at a place called Art of the Ears in Hayward, California.
Parts of it.
It used to be located in San Francisco, so I'm not sure where it was when they recorded. But he had recorded. I looked him up. He's recorded a bunch of other stuff, including early Green Day, like their 1,000 Hours EP. He recorded early Rancid. He recorded Screeching Weasel. This is all before this album, by the way. I'm looking up AFI, Good Riddance, Link 80, Tiger Army in 1998. AFI again in 1999, and after that, some other punk bands too. So he clearly has done this style of music, but I thought it could have sounded better, and maybe they didn't have enough time. Who knows?
And that's my guess, is that the parts of this album that don't sound great production wise are because they didn't have enough time.
Right.
And if this guy was the producer, like, he's obviously really good at doing this stuff, and he makes it sound good, but he's maybe not a producer, like someone who's like challenging the band.
It's punk rock, right?
Yeah.
Well, Clifton, let's jump into it.
Let's do. All right. So the first song is called "Watch My Mouth." It starts off with kind of just like that, like a strumming clean guitar type thing, with vocals over it, and I really do think that, like I said, even though they get accused of sounding like MXPX sometimes, which mostly comes down to the vocals, I do think there's a unique thing to the vocals here, and I think that he is a really good vocalist. So, words I speak, bias by flattery, I could say honestly, don't mean a thing to me, and I find it hard. Sometimes it's something to fear. I always say what you wanna hear. I can't speak the truth. I think he has good timing, good instincts on timing also, and he has just enough snottiness and just enough graveliness to his vocals to sound good.
All right, I'm going to disagree a little bit.
Okay.
I don't love the I don't know. It just, I didn't, when I first heard it, I was like, oh, I don't love this. It gets better, but I think he sounds better with music behind him.
Oh, I agree with that. Yes. I'm just saying that I think the snottiness I think it allows him to be more melodic than barky.
Okay. That's fair.
Now we'll go back and now we'll go into the whole band here. You wanna hear? I can't speak the truth. No, I feel like dirt. It seems so hard, but it helps to hurt. You and I need to set it straight. This is not the way, and it's not too late. These guys are obviously capable. They can play their instruments. That was tight. I think the guitar has really good tone, good distortion to it. I like its kind of fullness. Is one thing that I think makes it sound less MXPX-y maybe. Mm-hmm. MXPX kind of has like a lot of times has like their guitars are into the background, kind of stringy kind of thing, where I think this is really full sounding. I like that. And their bass player, I think, is the bass player might be what makes this album the most listenable.
He definitely stands out in a lot of the songs for sure.
Yeah. And like, I'm going to rewind that a little bit here because we actually got into the music of the chorus there a little bit. But like, as we listen to the chorus here, listen to like, even just like this, as simple as like listening to, you can kind of hear the texture on his bass here is more than you can hear the bass itself. And like, but anything, like every little thing he does like that brings a nice little detail to the music. Sometimes the truth might break your back. It's not my fault, cut me some slack. Cut me some slack. But it still stands on its stand, we'll win it. I know. I think good energy. I think the vocals bring a lot of presence to the music. Does it sound a little bit like MXPX? Sure.
Yeah.
Does it sound like pop punk? Also, yes. But I mean, like, there's only so much room in pop punk, right? Like, you're gonna sound a little bit like somebody. I think it sounds good. So we go through another verse that, well, the verse has instruments on it this time, so I guess we'll listen to it. But it still stands on it, then we'll win it. Where I end and God begins. It's hard to hurt and so easy to flatter. It's the little things I say that really matter. Sometimes the truth might break your back. It's not my call, cut me some slack. Wanna hear anything will fly. Hope you still think I'm a nice guy. Nice guy. They added some lines to the chorus there, and then they keep going with the nice guy over and over again, and it gets a little...
Yeah.
It's a little much. I agree with that part, But it's still moving fast, thankfully. It still has lots of energy. And after that, they kind of go back into that intro thing again where they do the strumming thing. But I do appreciate that it's little details like this I think make the album kind of listenable and fun, which is right before it does that, there's like a little nice little feedback. The nice guy, the nice guy. Words I speak, biased by flattery. I can say honestly, don't mean a thing to me, and I find it hard. Sometimes it's something to fear. I always say what you wanna hear. I can't speak the truth. No, I feel like dirt. It seems so hard, but it helps to hurt. You and I need to set it straight. This is not the way, and it's not too late. So that time, as it went back into the like the just strumming, clean guitar thing with the vocals, the drums were doing like a and then as the whole band came back in, they did like a little roll, and I think it's little things like that make this album fun.
Yeah,
they kind of build anticipation and just yeah. So I do think they have good songwriting instincts. I do think they have good melody. And I think that, I wish if this album had come out in 96, it would have been perfect.
Yeah, that was a thought I had about them. It's like, this is a little late. It's not their fault or anything, but yeah, had this been a few years earlier, hell, they might have got picked up by Tooth and Nail or somebody. Like, it would have, they're just a couple years late on this.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, they probably for sure listened to MXPX and decided to form a band. 100%. Versus listening to the bands that MXPX listened to. Kind of
correct. Yes. Shall we do the lyrics here?
Yeah, you want me to read them?
Go for it.
Words I speak, biased by flattery. I can say honestly don't mean a thing to me, and I find it hard sometimes. It's something I fear. I always say what you want to hear. I can't speak the truth. No, I'd feel like dirt, and it seems so hard, but it helps the hurt. You and I need to set it straight. This is not the way, and it's not too late. And the chorus is, sometimes the truth might break your back. It's not my call. Cut me some slack. But it still stands, honesty will win. It's where I end and God begins. It's hard to hurt and so easy to flatter. It's the little things that I say that really matter. Chorus again, sometimes the truth might break your back. It's not my call. Cut me some slack. If it's what you want to hear, anything will fly. Just hope you think hope you still think I'm a nice guy. And then they kind of repeat the first verse for the outro.
Yeah. I think these are good lyrics. The second verse is like to me. But I think these are good lyrics. Words I speak, biased by flattery. I can say honestly, don't mean a thing to me. That's a good line.
Yeah, it's true.
I can appreciate the people pleasing, admission that's going on here. And I think that there's a cleverness to the lyrics here. I don't think that's true through all their songs, but I think it's true on this song.
Fair.
I don't know. It's hard to. I mean, it's hard to say what the song is about. I mean, obviously, it's about a little bit of people pleasing. It's all about not saying the exact truth, kind of thing. But I don't know. Like, it's hard to understand the song without understanding. It's going to depend a lot on like what level of flattery and people pleasing we're talking about here.
Yeah.
I really like the line, "It's hard to hurt and so easy to flatter." That's a good line. But, are we talking about like, yeah, those pants look good on you? Are we talking about, no, it's fine that you showed up late? Or are we talking about like, yeah, you shouldn't rape that kid, but it's okay. Like those are obviously two very different things. And I don't know where in between those we are.
Yeah.
Right? Because a lot of, back then and even still today, a lot of people saying like, "Oh, look, hey, I'm just being honest." That's often an excuse just to be an asshole,
Yeah, definitely.
Because there's almost always a way to say something that doesn't come across like an asshole or hurt someone as much as you have to, like, or hurt someone. Like, you don't have to like dig into someone, like, and so it's hard to figure out what's going on here because I don't know if he's like, "Oh man, all my friends are assholes and I'm not an asshole, so maybe I'm a people pleaser," or is it like, sometimes I don't call out shit when I should, I don't know. It's hard to say.
Yeah. We're going to jump to song number 4. This is the second Noggin Toboggan song. Well, song called Noggin Toboggan. This is Noggin Toboggan Part 2. I'm
actually going to play it. Well, first off, so the second track is maybe their most MXPX sounding song. We're not going to cover it.
Okay.
But like, if you listen to the album and you're like, I don't know, like they didn't play a lot of songs that sound like MXPX. There's more MXPX sounding.
Yeah, I definitely thought that when I heard song 2.
Yeah. I am going to play a little bit here, the intro for Noggin Toboggan 1, though, because this is an obvious MXPX reference. And I also think it gives us context for Noggin Toboggan 2 as we go into it.
Don't take me by the hand, gonna see a noggin band. Can't be the only ones who show. No experience from limb to limb, can't take no more 3 p.m. I just broke one of his toes. Blowing up, I threw up and I dropped a note. Don't give out the number to my phone. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Whoa, 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 whoa. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Go to our show, 'cause no one goes, and we're alone. Jim Sam must be dead, got it for red. I spilled my sauce manifold.
The lyrics there at the very end were, "Come to our show because no one goes and we feel alone." But I think you can see from that, like, it's obvious that "Come Take Me By the Hand, we'll go see a Noggin band." That's an obvious nod towards MXPX's punk rock show.
Right.
So obviously these guys grew up on MXPX in the same way that MXPX grew up on whoever their influences were. Yeah. But I think that there's also some like really good melodic choices in that song. I don't know if "Whoa, whoa, whoa" isn't the most insightful lyric ever, but they pull it off well, right?
Yeah, it works well for there.
So, Noggin Toboggan 2 is a different song. It is not as MXPX inspired as the first one. But we do, so we start off here with some good guitar tone, I think, and I really, once again, the bass is oftentimes the highlight of this album, so keep that in mind as we hear the bass come in with the rest of the band.
Our show and wish you didn't go. We don't feel bad, you should already know. There's no reason to be there if you're not one of us. You bought our last CD and wasted your money.
Completely different sound. This sounds like it was recorded on the next album after the previous song was, after Noggin Toboggan 1. I actually look, because the album's recorded in two different, like half the songs are recording at one studio and the other half are recorded at another studio. And there's not like a lot of sense to be made. I tried to figure out if like, oh, maybe there's like better production on one, and there's really not. Like it's pretty much all over the place as far as quality goes, and like production quality or MXPX soundiness. I was kind of trying to figure out anything that, anyways. Okay. Fun little intro there. They do have really good backing vocals on their chorus here. And I think it's another thing that makes Noggin Toboggan really good. It's not something that MXPX does a lot. It is something that someone like Value Pack does more, or Goaty Hook does more. And I think it's really one of their strengths here. The kind of, it really deepens that melodic nature. Like that's not just background vocals. That's harmony. It's maybe these guys were in choir. I don't know, but it's the lead singer can not sing very well, but it still sounds good.
Yeah,
that's what I like. I like it when they can not sing very well and it still sounds good. All right. So once again, there's really good walking bass lines in this, but I'm going to skip a little bit here. Thankfully, they do. You don't see this a lot on their songs, which I think that they would have done better if there was more of this. But they do actually, on this song at least, vary up the musicianship on the different verses. So you hear here. The second time we go through the verses, which it's just the same thing again, by the way. It's just the same lyrics and everything. But the second time we go through it, it's just like punctuated guitars instead of...
But if you went to our show and wish you didn't go, we don't feel bad, you should already know there's no reason to be there if you're not one of us. You bought our last CD and wasted your money. We're sorry, cause there's no refund. Fun just begun. Listen to the song, it could be the last. Cause if your rock stars were blown away, we couldn't play.
Anyways, I don't know what else I have to add to that. Yeah. So this last part of the song, it's going to slow down a little. It's going to slow down a little bit, then kind of drums into the chorus again. But it's the chorus again, but it feels like a breakdown bridge because it's slower. And this is another thing that Noggin Toboggan does quite often that I think really works for them.
Another day that would be sad, but do think so.
That's a song. Noggin Toboggan 2.
I want to read us the lyrics.
All right, I'll read them this time. And if you went to our show and wish you didn't go, we don't feel bad. You should already know that there's no reason for you to be there if you're not one of us. And if you bought our last CD and wasted your money, we're sorry because there's no refunds. The fun has just begun. Listen to this song. Could be the last. Because if your rock stars are blown away, they couldn't play another day. And that would be sad. I do think so.
These lyrics feel a little bit more like a throwaway.
The chorus definitely sounds like a throwaway, because if your rock stars were blown away, they couldn't play another day. That would be sad. I do think so. I don't have a clue where that's coming from. I do think, in that youth group, we're being goofy because it's the 90s and we're 16 years old kind of thing, I do think that the sorry, not sorry that we suck and you came to our show, even though the previous song was begging you to come to our shows, and this one is, yeah, we suck, but you're here now,
Right.
So might as well enjoy it. I think it's fun. I like that. No, you don't like it, Jay?
It's not my favorite, but it's
Jay
fun.
has no sense of humor. Jay has lost his 16-year-old goofiness.
Yeah, it's true. Well, my wife doesn't think so, but
all right.
Okay, this one though I have questions about. We're going to song
Everyone
number 5,
questions.
Porcolator.
Yes. So this one starts with Porcolator, I guess.
I do appreciate the weird intro. I don't know that I get it, but I appreciate it.
Yeah. I think it can be best described as like a post-rock nightmare of someone who fell asleep watching a Dave Lynch film, but is also 16 and in a youth group.
Yeah.
So obviously there's someone saying Porcolator. Don't know why. There's some variations on laughter. There's like creepy laughter. There's very mocking kind of laughter. And there's someone doing pig noises. Which, do you think like there's someone in the band that does that live, So do you think they play this live, I guess?
I hope they played the intro live.
Me too. Yeah. Okay. But from there, we do actually build into a song here. I'm going to let it surprise you because it should if you've never heard this album before, and we'll talk about it afterwards.
Right now, there's an information, my motivation, this elevation won't last long. And all I can say is I know I've had 1,000 chances, every one of them has gone wrong. But God is still gonna take me away. Take me away. Take me away. Take me away.
Okay, Jay started nodding along a little bit there towards the end. I think it works, honestly. So, this is going to sound weird, and maybe I'm wrong. But a lot of punk bands, when they throw in some ska stuff, I feel like it's like, ska? That's cool, right? Ska? And I never felt that way with Noggin Toboggan. I always just felt like it was natural for them. Like, I don't know, like that. I don't know, it works for me.
That's true. It doesn't feel so forced. It kind of fits in better for some reason.
Yeah. And I think it has to do with their bass player. I think their bass player already comes at punk rock with that kind of walking bass line type thing, And so when they pull out the ska, it just fits.
Okay. Yeah. Go with it.
Yeah. But then it does go into I will say though, that last little bit that we listened to there, the "Taking Me Away" part, that's the chorus. And I do think it has kind of a great melody. Not a lot to it, obviously, "Taking Me Away." But I think the gang vocals there are really fun. They're kind of different, doing some different things, messing around. There's good yeahs to it. I think it works. I enjoy it. The percolator part you have to put up with to listen to the song, I guess, if you don't want to fast forward 40 seconds. But from here, we go back into punk rock.
Take me away. The innocent in his heart, he still does not despise a wretch like me. Oh Lord, I'm sorry. And if I ask for one more try, wouldn't have to think twice. Even though I fail, he'd still forgive me and take me away. And take me away. And take me away.
No background vocals that time on the Take Me Away. It's funny because I almost hear the punk rock part of this song almost feels like what it feels like when punk bands cover non-punk songs.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like fast, make the drums fast, make the guitars fast, everyone's fast, and let's just do it. So it's weird because that's actually the part of the song that feels less at home to me. Yeah, and like I said, no background vocals on the chorus there, so it's not as fun to me. We do go back into a ska for the third verse. I wouldn't play it except for I want to make fun of a part of it.
Take me away from this world that I'm not safe, and away from all my troubles and stuff.
The stuff line, I don't know, just.
Oh, well, Clifton might as well finish out what he rhymes with it.
'Cause he promised, and I believe that makes us a team, even though I'm not really buff. I'll still
Like the fact that you couldn't think of anything, you used stuff, but then you actually had to find something to rhyme with it. Right?
At least he didn't say tough.
Okay.
It was probably originally tough, and then he came up with buff, and he's like, that's a better rhyme.
Yeah. Wow.
It's a less expected rhyme, I would say. Yeah, I don't know why, but every time I hear the stuff line, I'm always like, stuff! It's just so bad. It's not the worst part of this album. I do have a most obnoxious moment on this album to nominate it for at the end.
Okay, and it's not the stuff, everyone. So
no, it's not
stay
stuff.
tuned.
Yeah. Okay, so we're going to go into the chorus here, and I like the little drum roll into the chorus here.
I'll still make it, 'cause he'll take me away. He'll take me away. He'll take me away. He'll take me away. The innocence in his eyes still does not aspire to with me. Oh Lord, I'm sorry.
I like the drum roll because it sounds like they've already shown you that they're going to go back and forth between ska and punk, and so it's like, hey, we're going back to punk now, but then they fake you out. They're going to stay with ska. I think it works.
Yep.
All right, right here at the end of the song, there's some like obnoxious stuff.
Take me away.
Thank you very much.
So that's Porcolator, Jay. What'd you think of Porcolator?
Can I read the lyrics and then talk about what I think?
Okay, let's do it.
Okay. Right now, there's an inflammation. My motivation. This elevation won't last long. And all I can say is I know I've had 1,000 chances, and every one of them has gone wrong. But God's still going to take me away. The innocence in his eyes, yet he still does not despise a wretch like me. Oh Lord, I'm sorry. And if I asked for one more try, he wouldn't have to think twice, even though I'd fail. He'd still forgive me and take me away from this world that I'm not safe in. Away from all my troubles and stuff, as Clifton likes to point out. Because he promised, and I believe that makes us a team, even though I'm not really buff. I'll still make it because he'll take me away.
Yeah.
Clifton, I have some questions.
Do it.
Okay. The song is called Porcolator, so I have some thoughts about that. But then the first few lines made me wonder if this is what the song is about when he says, right now there's an inflammation, my motivation, this elevation. won't last long.
Mm-hmm.
Are
Think they're high?
Are we? Huh?
Think they're high?
Oh no, I thought he was talking about his dick because it's Porculator. The song's called Porculator. I don't know. Right. It seems like he could be porking somebody, and right now there's an inflammation of my motivation. This elevation won't last long. He's got a boner, right?
I did not see that coming.
Okay.
I think it's a valid reading of this. I'm trying to wrap my head around the rest of the song in that context. And
he says, God, take me away. I hope he say, God, take it away. But, you know.
Well, you could like, take me away from here kind of thing. You know, like.
The land of no boners.
Right? Well, like I just committed this sin because I just had sex, with somebody. And so take me away, Oh,
I don't think he had sex. I think he just
wanked I masturbated.
Yeah. This is a Christian album, Clifton.
You're right. I'm sorry. There's a limit to how far we can sin, even though all sins are the same.
But not really.
Right. Yeah. They're not really. Yeah. I think it works.
I don't know why. I guess I think I heard Porculator in that weird intro. I was like, what the hell is Porculator? Yeah. And then the first few lines, and I was like, oh, he's talking about masturbation, but like maybe not. Those of you that have been listening a long time are like, oh, God damn it. Jay's trying to apply masturbation to another song. What the fuck? So maybe I'm wrong. I don't know.
I mean, the innocence in his eyes, and yet he still not despise a wretch like me. Oh, Lord, I'm sorry. That can fit,
I mean, I think it could work, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
What were you thinking it was?
Just not that. Anything but that, really. I thought, I don't really know what the inflammation part is, but I kind of got, my motivation is elevation won't last long. I felt that like it was more like I'm kind of on a spiritual high from like a summer camp or something like, or worship service, It's like, and I'm really devoting myself, but it won't last long. Like,
so it's either a spiritual high or an erection.
Yes,
could be one or the other.
We report, you decide. Yeah. Last time I tried to do a poll on Facebook, it wouldn't let me. So.
Oh shit. Well, we have to. Well, Clifton, this is a good one to do it again. We should try. Really, is Porculator about spiritual high or erections?
Okay. Yeah. No matter what it's about, it's definitely about failing and being a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. And this is where I'm saying that they're not preaching here. It's all internalized, and they're just looking at themselves as pieces of shit, They're not telling you that you're a piece of shit for doing this. They've just internalized it, and they feel like shit because of who they are.
Yep.
We've talked about that a lot. I guess we could talk about it again if we wanted to, but I don't feel like it right now, because I think there's more interesting things to talk about on this album. Yeah. Anything else?
No.
All right. We're going to skip the next one that I said we're going to do. The
Okay.
Fence. Just because in the end, I was like, nah.
Yeah, by the way, everybody, Clifton wanted to do like 1 million songs off this album, and I was like,
half
no, we usually only do like 6. And he was like, let's do 25.
Usually do half the songs. We usually do half the songs.
Okay, fair.
And there were 22 goddamn songs on this album.
Yeah.
Which is too many. And it was only an hour long. Literally, I got done with it, and I was like, did they use every goddamn second that they could fit on a CD, like all 72 minutes and 50 seconds?
Well, didn't they put out, like, their demo was like a full-length album before this kind of thing? So, there we go.
I know. They could have gotten rid of 5 songs, and it would have been a better album, honestly.
For sure.
Yeah. All right.
Well, let's jump to song number 8, Day in the Life of.
All right. This is the one that I definitely remember from being a kid, being 18 years old, in college. I think this is the most like coming of age type thing on the album. I think it's very, maybe I still, feel like this sometimes today, but not as much. But I definitely felt like this at 18 years old.
Fair.
All right, so we're going to start off with some dueling guitar type thing. It's probably the most aggressive guitars we've listened to so far, and might end up being the most aggressive guitars we do on the songs we're covering all together. I don't know. Like, there's actually some interesting things going on there with guitars. They actually do like a little lead part there, towards the end. I think that builds good energy, and I like it.
Yeah, I was confused when I first listened. It's like, wait, they only have one guitarist.
Yeah, I mean, you can track in the studio.
You're right.
Yeah. Just because you can't do it live doesn't mean that you can't do it in the studio. And, maybe live, they're like, all right, and our friend Dave's going to come up and play guitar with us on this song. You never know.
Fair.
You never know.
Okay.
Maybe the guy who plays recorder played with them on this song. All right. Might be some of the most whiny vocals on the album, Jay. You think?
I did actually wonder if this was a different singer for a second. I was like,
it is not.
Vocals are a little different.
Yeah, no, it's not. But they're not just whiny, though. They also have like a forcefulness to them, which makes them extra whiny, maybe, but I like it.
When I was a little boy in my hometown, everyone picked on me. I was treated like no other, and I had an older brother who helped in the festivities. Whatever happened to the days when I did nothing, man, did I have it made? Then I got older, no longer is he. This episode of the day in the life of me.
So, I think it's really good. I like the double time on the drums for the chorus there. It might be some of the worst recording on the album, though, as far as the guitars go.
Yeah, it doesn't sound that good.
So we get like a little rock out session here in between the chorus and the next verse. There is a little less guitar and some more bass on the next verse, so I think we're going to listen to it because I like the bass player.
Opportunity knocks at the door, but I can't take it anymore. This end of the deal is cheap. Dressing up like Superman, under rules like Spider-Man, it's all in my memories. Whatever happened to those days when I did nothing, man, did I have it made? Then I got older. No longer
I think he's a good bass player. He keeps it bouncy during the verses. He keeps it driving during those fast choruses where the drums speed up and everything. I think it works well. So now we're going to get to like a little breakdown bridge type thing towards about 2/3 of the way through the song, which once again we get nice little bass and drums type thing going on here for a little bit.
Whatever happened to those days when I did nothing, man, did I have it made? When I got older, no longer is he. This episode of the day in the life of me. When I go home, 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 oh yeah.
Yeah, I like the want to go home part. To
Yeah.
finish out.
Yeah, I think it works really well. None of the songs are long on this album, but this is one of the longer ones at 2 minutes and 44 seconds. But I think it works really well, and it has a nice. I think the background vocals, especially there at the end, give it that kind of soft, nostalgic feeling to it.
Mm-hmm.
There's not a lot to say about it here because it's a punk rock album, but I think they do it well. When I was a little boy in my hometown, everyone picked on me. I was treated like no other, and I had an older brother who helped in the festivities. Whatever happened to those days when I did nothing, man, did I have it made. Then I got older, no longer easy. In this episode of The Day in the Life of Me. Opportunity knocks at the door, but I can't take it anymore. This end of the deal is cheap. Dressing up like Superman, underoos like Spider-Man. It's all in my memories. I want to go home. You know, I think it's cute.
Yeah.
And especially like going off to college, it's like, man, now I gotta like figure out my own fucking meals and stuff, you know? Like there was definitely kind of a feeling of like, man, I miss it when things were easy.
Yeah. And I think, I can't think of an example off the top of my head, but I think we've seen this in other songs too, a little bit of like reminiscing about the past. Cause it's like, oh shit, I'm finally having to grow up.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
I think there was even a time when we did a song like this and I said, oh, I can't wait till we do Noggin Toboggan because they have a song like this too.
Yeah.
But yeah. I think it's a fun little, you know, I'm growing up and I got to do shit. I got to adult, you know, and it's not the best thing I've ever done, you guys.
Nope.
It's not fun.
Nope.
Yeah. Got to wash dishes, you know.
However, now
like,
being a full grown real ass adult, it's actually not bad.
Well, it's easier. Like Jay, when you're old enough that you can afford a dishwasher.
You're right. Okay, fair.
And afford to live with people who don't leave plates in the middle of the living room floor with ketchup and tomatoes on them for days. This is a real example.
Yeah. No, like months.
That's why Jay's laughing.
Like months. Yeah, no, you're right. You're right. When like you living with people because you like want to live with them, not because like you have to make ends meet.
Yeah. Do you remember that time at Roadhouse when we got woken up by the cops?
Yeah.
So this house, we had 8 guys in this house. 8.
Yep. It's a 4-bedroom house. 4 bathrooms though, strangely, I think.
Yeah, it was a weird house. Like it had like, it was like octagon shaped and it had 4 bedrooms, 4 baths. The point of this story though is we lived out of town in College Station, like outside of town. And so there was no trash service.
Yeah.
And whoever's turn it was to take out you had to like buy these tickets to take it to the regular dump, basically the trash bags. And whoever's turn it was that week just decided to dump them in the first, you know, open dumpster that they found. But the
might have been me. I don't know.
It was
sounds
not
right.
your turn. No.
Was it not my turn? Okay,
no,
good. I'm like, oh, it sounds like it probably would have been me, but I don't know.
And the people whose turn it was just dumped them in an open dumpster. Turns out the open dumpster was actually a specialty dumpster.
For like a work site or something.
Yeah. And so they called the cops. The cops came through it and dug through the trash. And because Jay and I were always ordering CDs and stuff off of eBay and stuff like that.
That's what it was. I knew it was connected to me. I bet one of our names was on it. That's why.
Both of our names were on separate pieces of trash, and only our names were on pieces of trash.
That's what it was. That's why.
So what's hilarious about this is that the guys who actually dumped it are the ones who answered the door to the cops, and then they came and got us and told us that we needed to go talk to the cops, even though they were the fucking ones who dumped it. And so Jay and I had to get chewed out by cops about dumping trash in the wrong place.
That's right.
Anyway, when you don't have to do things like this, Jay, being an adult is a lot easier.
You're right. Great point, Clifton. Yes.
All right. That's all. I think it's a fun, nostalgic, man, I wish I didn't have to grow up song.
Okay. You want to jump to the next one?
Yeah, I honestly forgot we were covering this one, so I haven't listened to it as much as the other songs. I don't know why I forgot.
I mean, we could skip it too, Clifton.
No,
it's okay.
Fine. It's a good song.
All right.
And one of the reasons I picked it is because this is one of their most MXPX sounding songs, I think.
Okay, fair. Yeah. This song's called You Can Call Me Schmoopy, and it's song number 9.
And like, even though I don't think, MXPX does do shit like this, and you're going to immediately hear it.
In time, I'll lose my mind, thinking about things through your eyes.
Very MXPX, I think.
Yep.
They do that for a while more. And a note that I took to myself when I was listening to it was, I think this works. I don't know. It's still going. So we're going to fast forward to the point where they're done singing, but it gets awkward that they're still doing the palm mute thing here. Once again, we're still very MXPX there through the verse. I don't know what that was. I'm going to fast forward a little bit more because you know what this next part sounds like, Jay?
What?
MXPX.
When you say we'll go out to watch show.
Yeah.
It's the greatest day I know.
And they go into this breakdown here, which also sounds MXPX. It's like they just took different parts of MXPX songs and mixed them together, you know?
Yeah, it sounded a lot like MXPX.
Now, here's the other thing that sounds like. This, I don't know what this is, but it sounds like a 90s song to me, and I can't fucking place it, Jay.
On your doorstep, I'll let you sit, and then you give me a call.
It's just the vocal part. Let me isolate.
Oh, I thought it was instrumental. It's like, if you want to call me,
No,
but no. Okay.
no.
On your doorstep, I'll let you sit, and then you give me a call.
Call.
On your doorstep, I'll let you sit, and then you give me a call.
Maybe it is that song. Maybe it is. Maybe it's just like the last part. Maybe instead of the "if you want to call me baby," maybe it's the "go ahead now." Maybe it's that part of it that it sounds like.
Could
I don't
be.
know, but it sounds like a fucking 90s song. Let's listen to more of it.
Give me a call. On your doorstep, I'll let you sit, and then you can give me a call. On your doorstep, I'll let you sit, and then you can give me a call. On your doorstep, I'll let you.
They just repeat different parts of the song after that. My point being, you know, maybe the accusation to them sound like MXPX ripoff isn't completely misplaced.
No.
Because sometimes they do. All right. That's why we're covering this song. We can do the lyrics if you want to.
All right, I'll do them fast.
All right.
In time, I'll lose my mind, thinking about things through your eyes. I'll wait to see, will you notice me? Well, I just want to know your name. I don't know where you came from. I can't ask you, I'd feel lame. Still don't know our status quo. Sometimes I sit by you on the bench. Can't talk to you because I'm a wimp, and I don't know if we'll go. It's the greatest day I know when you say you will go out to our show. It's the greatest day I know on your doorstep. I'll leave you a slip, and then you can give me a call.
All right.
Is this kind of like pathetic guy song
I think so.
trope,
Like,
you know?
here's my notes for this song. Is this a Crush song? I don't know. It's hard to tell. I don't know what else it would be, but it's very weird.
Yeah.
I like the opening line. I'll lose my mind thinking about things through your eyes. It's a little clever, but other than that, I have nothing. I don't like this song.
Okay.
All right.
Well,
Move on.
Number 10, Divide by Zero.
All right.
I think of all the ones we're doing, this is the one I like the most.
Really?
Yeah.
No, it's a good song. I think it's still MXPX-y, but it's going after the you know when MXPX tries to sound smart?
Right.
It's that version of MXPX. Yeah. So it starts off with kind of this up their own ass guitar stuff. So I don't know what the opening thing was there. Maybe something they learned in guitar lessons or maybe jazz guitar or something like that. I don't know. But the punk rock part of it so far is good. It's that very MXPX kind of driving, forceful punk rock.
Right.
You know? The chorus thing there was very MXPX. I think it's nicely melodic. I think it's really good, but it is very MXPX. Yeah. Honestly, there's not it's not a lot different the next time through. They do another verse in chorus. I'm gonna skip past that though. It's a little instrumental thing we do here because it has good drums.
Do you know what is true, or is it too relative to you? Do you just imagine me, or am I real to see? Or should we just let it be?
Fast, melodic, not complicated, good song.
I'll take it.
All right. My turn?
Yep.
Caught up in false philosophy. Knocked down. You're fallen on your knees. Missed all the holiday cheer. It's 12 o'clock. Do you know why you're here? Do you know what is true, or is it too relative to you? Do you just imagine me, or am I real to see? Should we just let it be? I think, therefore I am. You say, so please just go away. Are you you? Am I me? I think I'll just wait and see.
I'm having flashbacks of hearing truth is not relative.
Yes.
From youth group and all that shit. They railed against that all the time.
Yeah.
It's absolute. Truth is truth.
Right. I mean, I guess there's some people who, in postmodernism who argued for there is no absolute truth, which is fine, but that's not what they were saying. They were saying it's all perspective based, the way you perceive something is not the way I perceive something, and so it may mean different things to us, right? But what's fun here is that that's not what they choose to make fun of, a little bit. The second verse, I think, therefore I am, Descartes. I love that they've singled out Descartes to make fun of, because of all the great philosophers, Descartes may be the only one who is a staunch defender of Christianity. And so I find it really funny that they choose him to pick on, to poke fun at.
I'm sure they didn't know that.
They did not know that. That's the thing, though, is that they don't know anything about philosophy. They've been told that philosophy is bad, and therefore they're going to make fun of it.
Exactly. Yeah.
I don't think there's anything else that we need to get into with this song.
Can I just... I'm sorry, and I shouldn't go there, but I'm going to do it. The people for all you listening, I know you can relate to this. So many of the people that told us truth is not relative, it's absolute, are now fucking following this guy that, like, that's all he knows. I'm talking about our current president, right? It's just like, he just makes shit up all the time. Like, sorry, it just drives you mad sometimes, right? Like, growing up with this and then seeing how quickly everyone is like, oh, I'm not just kidding. Haha. No, it's fine. Whatever he says is truth. That's truth. That's what truth is.
Yeah. It's true. I mean, yes, the fake news, well, that's not how I see it. All those things.
Just fired. You guys can tell when we record this because he just fired his what was it, like, statistician person on the labor jobs report because he didn't like the results.
Yes.
Not saying they're wrong, just I don't like it, so I'm gonna get somebody in there to do what I want.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. So what's that about truth?
This truth is inconvenient for me, so let's get rid of it.
Exactly. Anyway,
he's also proposed to redact the scientific findings that climate change is a danger to humankind.
Right. I mean, I don't know about you, Clifton, but just locally and also just watching the news this year, I mean, it seems pretty fucking clear that it is a real thing, but here we go.
Yeah.
Makes you feel crazy.
I was reading something the other day that finally confirmed one of my suspicions, which is a bad reason to believe something. But talking about why summers are so much worse than when we were kids. Because when we were kids, summers were hot, right? Of course. They were like, the highs were the same. But what the difference is that in the evening it cooled off. But that doesn't happen anymore. In the evenings we might get down to 85, not 75 or 70, you know? Right. And so the heat just builds up, you know, and you never get a break from it. And that's what makes it feel so much worse these days. Because that's literally that's literally what CO2 does. It holds things in, right?
Right.
So it doesn't cool off in the evenings. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just finally gotten cold, but we've had a terrible summer here. So.
Yeah. It's actually been not horrible here. Like, the highs have not been that horrible, but it does feel horrible because it never cools off.
Yeah. Yeah. True.
All right, moving on to the next song. Kids These Days.
Okay.
Shake your fist at a cloud.
This one also is going to clearly be copying some influences that we're going to hear right at the beginning.
Let's listen to it.
Where are you from? North County.
So annoying.
It's annoying because they're ripping off the Supertones, who were like ripping off some movie or something with their audio clip from that song. So it's like,
exactly.
It's a little weird.
Yes, it's secondhand embarrassing. Yes. There will be a chorus to this song, but it's not great. The real melodic hook is that end of the verse there. Can't rely on yesterday to get me through right now.
That also sounded a lot like MXPX to me.
Sounds a lot like MXPX.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. But I do think that the drums kind of do that like da-da-da-da-da thing in there, you know, good bouncy bass line. Even though it sounds like MXPX, it's still a good song, I think. Oh yeah, I have my note here for the chorus is, it's short, which might be good. The verses are the better part of the song. Let's listen to the end of the verse, the second verse here, and into the chorus.
And rely on yesterday to get me through right now. We'll wake up, 'cause I hate the smell of coffee. Just face it, I don't wanna be like most kids these days. Day by day I'm getting stronger, but seems so long still getting longer. Can't rely on yesterday
let that play through because it's once again great walking bass lines there. All right, so after another chorus here, we get to honestly a kind of annoying bridge, but then it changes for the better.
I don't wanna be like most kids these days. Just make it go away. 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 Just want it to be okay. 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 Just want it to be okay.
Yeah.
Would you like me to read the lyrics?
Go for it.
All my days left seem so bright, but I can't seem to make it through tonight. And I can't rely on yesterday to get me through right now. That's a good line. My prayers and dreams are coming true, still left with a mess. Oh, what to do? And I can't rely on yesterday to get me through right now. Won't wake up because I hate the smell of coffee. Just face it, I don't want to be like most kids these days. Day by day, I'm getting stronger, but it seems so long, still getting longer. And I can't rely on yesterday to get me through right now. A little afraid, a little tired. Can't speak now, my tongue's on fire. And I can't rely on yesterday to get me through right now. Just make it go away. Just want it to be okay.
Yeah. This is a song that I really liked back in the day.
Yeah, it's relatable.
It is very relatable, especially once again, kind of that coming of age, going off to college, I got to be responsible for things,
Yep.
And it's also when my anxiety disorder kind of kicked in, so it really, it felt like I didn't know that was weird, does that make sense?
Yeah.
All my days left seem so bright, but I can't seem to make it through tonight. Can't rely on yesterday to get me through right now. Like can't rely on my memories of the past. They're not being enough right now to make the future look bright. I think is maybe what's saying. A little afraid, a little tired. Can't speak now, my tongue's on fire. Just make it go away. Just want to be okay. Those lines are very relatable from my anxiety disorder perspective.
Yeah.
But also just from, I'm growing up. There's consequences to my actions now, and it's sometimes hard to deal with them. This is kind of that age where you realize that sometimes you do things that you can't make okay.
True.
Like you just hurt somebody and that's how it's gonna be.
That's it.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know what they're talking about exactly in this song, but that's how it always came across to me.
Yeah.
The next song we're going to skip. So that's the end of the first half of the album. We're doing 3 songs from the second half. I was originally just going to do 2. Let's get through this one quickly. This one's called Dork, track 15. It's I don't remember why I wanted to cover this one, Jay, honestly.
All right.
Yeah. I think it's I think it's more the lyrics I wanted to cover. Let's listen.
Every time you play the game, that's your lock broken. There's a phone in your brain to say which way you need to go. You don't want to know. You seem like a human, you were raised in one ear, and it comes right back to me. Sometimes I think you intend one day. You ask me for advice, I give it to you twice. And everything should fall right into place. And then we talk about the same old thing all over again. The same old thing all over again. The same old thing all over again.
it's a short song. We've kind of heard all the different parts of it now. I feel like there's a lot of different influences here that I'm not picking out.
I liked the when the vocals came in. I kind of liked that part.
Sitting together, time to play the game. That's your life, bro. There's a point in your brain to say which way you need to go. You don't want to know.
I know MXPX does something like that, but I'm almost positive they're copying someone else.
Yeah.
But it is a very good sound, like because the guitar is very like da 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 da. It has this like almost stringiness to it that's just like, I don't know. It's not stringy, but it's maybe I don't have the right words here for it. It combined with the vocals is very. It feels like it can fall apart. Yeah. I don't know. I do think it's a catchy song though. It's less than a minute and a half long. Yeah, let me read the vocals. Let me read the lyrics here. It seems like every time you play this game, the street light is broke and there is a fork in your brain. I tell you which way you need to go, but you don't want to know. You seem like a human boomerang, goes in one ear and it comes right back to me. Sometimes I think, do you listen to what I say? You ask me for advice, I give it to you twice, and everything should fall right into place. And then we talk about the same old thing all over again. You seem like a human boomerang, goes in one ear and comes right back to me. Sometimes I think, do you listen to what I say, or am I wasting my time? It's an interesting song. I think it's one of their brattier songs, maybe. Yeah. Honestly, I think, this and another one of the songs, not the next one we're going to cover, but the one after that. The only reason I really picked them out is because they stood out as catchy against how bored the band seemed to get with themselves in the second half of the album. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it. I think I don't think there's a lot of depth to this song, but I do think that it's catchy and it's fun, and it is one of the few things that rescues the second half of the album. One of the things that's not something that rescues the second half of the album is the next song we're going to cover, though.
That is true. So, song 19. And I thought this was a clever title, a little bit. Kingdom Hall Crashers rather than Dance Hall Crashers.
It's a good title. I don't know how much of the music we're actually going to talk about, because that's not why we're talking about this song. But it does start off with maybe some of the weirdest guitar on the album. I see what they're doing. They're doing like the tremolo picking thing, Mm-hmm. It just, the recording on it is just so bad that it sounds weird and it sounds electronic almost. And then they do it for too long.
Yeah.
All right. Here's the verse.
But days set back all around the watchtower. How many times can this world end? 'Cause I'm still here and so are you. And true, there's nothing you can do. So don't change on what want to suit you.
The second verse, chorus thing is the same. So I'm going to skip here to a little instrumental part in the song, and then we'll listen to through the end of the song.
It's true, so then you can do. Don't change on one want to suit you. What?
I think that instrumental right there is very insightful into what the second half of this album is like. There's a lot of noodling, a lot of like playing around with what punk rock can be without ever like challenging what punk rock can be, you know?
Right.
And it's kind of like, it's fine. It's fine. Like all of it's fine. Yeah, that's it. All right. Your turn on the lyrics here or my turn?
I
forget.
I think it's me.
Do it.
A deceptive past all around the watchtower. How many times can this world end? Because I'm still here and so are you. It's true, there's nothing you can do. Don't go and change John 1:1 to suit you. It's like oranges and apples. Jesus isn't Michael the Archangel. We're not trying to be jerks, but God saves by grace, not by works.
All right.
So I just want to pause. If you're listening to this, I don't know why you would be, and you didn't grow up listening to Christian music, this is going to get some weird, like real weird sect kind of denominational shit right here.
All right. Yep.
Like we're more correct than the other groups type stuff.
Yeah. Okay.
So Clifton, what are they talking about in this song?
So they're talking about Jehovah's Witnesses.
Right. Because of the Watchtower.
Yeah, the Watchtower is what gives it away.
The Kingdom
it's the first
Hall,
big thing. The Kingdom Hall thing gives it away. The Watchtower thing gives it away. The John 1:1 thing would give it away if you know enough about Jehovah's Witnesses. But also, I really, it is kind of funny how many times can this world end because I'm still here and so are you. The Jehovah's Witnesses as a sect got started by the people who started it, predicting the end of the world, and then it didn't end, and they were like, let's do the math again, and they came back and was like, oh, it's next year. Next year the world's going to end, and then it didn't end, obviously. And I think they tried one more time before they were just like, we're not guessing anymore. I think they also believe that only 122,000 or something like that people can get into heaven. I think they had to give them that to believe too, obviously, when their little sect got too big. Yeah. That's the funny part to this song. All right. Do you know what Jehovah's Witnesses do different about John 1:1?
I just looked it up.
Okay. Yes. Good. Tell us.
So John 1:1 is what is like in the beginning. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word
was with God, and the Word was God.
Right. They say in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was a God.
Mm-hmm. So, first off, let's talk about the actual, what do you call it, translation. The Jehovah's Witnesses translation is fine. If anything, it might be more correct than this typical Protestant translation. Because this is an obvious reference to a proverb that talks about wisdom coming. Like there's a proverb that describes that the first thing that God created as another God was wisdom, and wisdom is the word, and so that's what this is a reference to. So that's the translation issue there. The Jehovah's Witnesses translation, as far as I understand it, is a fine translation. The sin here, I'll use the word sin for fun. The sin here that Noggin Toboggan and all Protestants, and really most anybody that reads the Bible is committing, is assuming that the Bible agrees with itself. Okay?
Yeah.
So, you have to interpret John 1:1 as not saying the Word was a God if you want to also interpret Paul is saying that Jesus is a God in so much as God the Father is also God, right? Especially if you wanted to interpret it in the light of the later development of the Trinity, which is a later development, right? Not something that's in the Bible. It's something that was created to interpret the Bible later on.
Right.
And it had to be developed because there were too many disagreements, because all the disagreements that people had about the different ways to interpret the Godhead or the lack of Godhead were legitimate in the Bible, right? Because the Bible does not agree with itself. If you assume that the Bible all agrees with itself, you have to to use the words of Dan McClellan, you have to negotiate with the Bible about what it means then. Right? But yeah, it's interesting. You know, there are plenty of early Christians who didn't believe that Jesus was a god. The earliest of Christians, the Ebionites in Jerusalem, you know, James and Peter and John and their little sect probably didn't believe that Jesus was a god, you know, yeah. Or believe that Jesus was at one with the Father, you know. Jesus definitely never talked as if, except for in John, you know. The earliest writings of Jesus, he doesn't talk as if he's a god, you know. So once again, it all has to come back to, does the Bible agree with itself? No. You have to take the individual books at their own words, right? Such as the last line, but God saves by grace, not by works. Does he? Have you read, you know, James and Jude? I think they'll disagree with you.
Right.
You know? Yeah, I'm not even sure that Paul believes, even though Paul is used to say that God saves by faith and not works, I'm not sure Paul even says that, because I think this is something that Christians just read out of Paul, is the whole works thing, you know, especially Calvinists. They kind of just have to like wave it away, because once again, to make everything come together, you have to ignore different parts, right? This is why people who read the Bible often end up not being Christians, because if you read the Bible, the first thing you're going to notice is, oh shit, none of that stuff I was taught is in here. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. At least not explicitly. You can read it into there if you want to, but
right, and we all did.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. You know, if the sinner's prayer was something that you needed to say, then why didn't Jesus tell us to say it? Right?
True.
Yeah. But he didn't. In fact, if you especially if you read the synoptic gospels, Jesus isn't saying, "Hey, I came to save the world." He's saying, "Repent because the end is coming." You know, he doesn't say repent and believe in me. He says repent and believe in God.
Yeah.
Yeah. Any other little things that you want to pick out of this song? Jesus isn't Michael the Archangel.
I don't know what that's about.
I think that has to go with, I don't know that part of Jehovah's Witness theology. It might have to do with the fact that, so here's the thing. There's no angels the concept of angels is mostly post-Old Testament. Okay? Most of what we consider to be the kind of ideas of angels are developed in, you know, like 300 BC up through you know, up through like 100 or like, you know, the end of the BCs, with books like Jubilees and Enoch, all the especially the first and second Enoch, which are not two parts of a book, they're just different books, but they both develop the ideas of angels. And there's definitely no Michael the Archangel in the Old Testament, you know?
Yeah.
But what there is in the Old Testament is someone who does God's bidding. And in Jewish philosophy, or in Jewish theology, there's a lot of talk about this being that does the bidding of God. And I think that gets reinterpreted probably into Michael the Archangel. And then since Michael the Archangel is the one who's doing the bidding of God, that can be interpreted back into Jesus, because Protestants definitely interpret Jesus as the one in the Old Testament doing God's bidding. That's kind of how that's kind of how they retroject Jesus back into the Old Testament. Yeah.
Yep.
Anyways, fun stuff.
Also, like, why did they need to write a song about this?
I don't don't know I mean, do you remember being this age and feeling so full of yourself that you knew everything?
And I remember thinking like,
those weirdos.
We were such assholes. There was a Mormon kid in one of our classes, and we were like, "Hey, what would Joseph Smith do?" instead of "What would Jesus do?" And like now, looking back, I'm like, "This is so stupid." We used to think Mormonism, for instance, was so weird. I'm like, it's not any weirder than the shit we believed. No. My God, like
it's just younger, so it's the stupid parts of it are more accessible to us. You know?
Exactly.
Yeah. All right. We're going to cover one more song, everybody.
Oh, and what a great one to end on.
I'm glad we're recording. Jesus, I don't know why I just thought of that.
Called Song 21, Multiple Kittens.
Multiple Kittens. All right. This is another one at the end of the album that kind of woke me up out of the days of the last half of the album, you know, with something that was interesting going on. But it's not all the song. Half the song is horrible. And half the song is pretty good. Okay? The horrible part is what we're going to start with, though.
Take kitties brought to life. Without their mother, they cannot survive. Spay and they other guy. I'll stick with Jesus, the giver of life. It's waiting for you.
That's a lot of what the second half of the album sounds like. Is like, this is what punk rock sounds like, right? You know?
Yeah.
But then they come up with this, and this part's fine.
So I cry, and I pray, and I hope that you see someday the things that he's doing to me. And I pray where you are, that you open up your heart and find the things that he's doing to me. Most kiddies won't survive. You get your chance, hope you choose what is right. I pray for you.
That's the song, I guess. It was just a part towards the end of the album that was like, well, it's not exactly horrible. Yeah. I don't know that we don't need to talk about the lyrics here, do we?
I mean, I'll just say it starts with 10 kitties brought to life.
Without their mother, they cannot survive. Yeah. Okay, so, Jay, what did you think of Noggin Toboggan's first album?
I mean, again, it was better than I thought, because after Frito Boat, I was like, this is going to be terrible. It wasn't bad. It felt like a band that maybe could be a little more polished on stuff, could have maybe had a better producer, could have taken some songs off this, but like, and also I think, like we said, had it been a few years earlier, could have been like really popular, but they're kind of like, they're obviously drawing on like the Christian bands that were drawing on other bands. And so it's just, it's fine, but it's nothing like new or earth shattering, but you know, it's fine.
Yeah. I think if they'd come into the studio with 14 songs that they wanted to do, they could have focused on having 14 good songs.
Yeah.
And they probably could have pulled it off, you know? Instead, they have 22 songs and half of them are pretty meh.
I agree.
Yeah. All right. I do have this moment here, track 14 called 3 p.m. I want to nominate this part here for the most cringeworthy moment on the album.
Okay.
Someone to talk to, someone to fill this hole. I wish sometimes that my heart can be softened. Jesus, I hear you knocking.
Jesus, I hear you knocking. That's pretty bad. That's it. That's my cringe-worthy moment on the album. It's pretty bad lyrics.
Well, Clifton, overall, let's talk about anything else we haven't touched on. So, like cover artwork, packaging, any of that stuff.
Yeah, the cover of the album is like a dog. What kind of dog is it? Like a Rottweiler or a pit bull or something like that, maybe?
And he's got one of those like spiky.
Yeah, like a spiky punk rock collar.
Collar, yep.
His tongue is like hanging out of his mouth really long, like so long it goes off the cover. You know, I think you look at this and you're like, that's probably punk, you know?
Right.
So I don't think it's a great album cover, but I think it does the job of getting you to buy this. It also fits into a certain aesthetic that Betty Rocket had going on, I think. Production could have been better. Like I said, I think they should have picked fewer songs and come in and tried to do them better.
Yeah.
I'm kind of getting tired of talking about it, even though I do like this album and I do think it's a good album, at least for the first half. It does that second half wears on you, and the second half cost, right? No part of an album should cost the listener, and the second half of this album costs.
Any idea why it's called Snapcase?
No.
Okay.
You mean from all of the resources I had to look into to
right.
figure out anything about this band? Yeah, no, not a clue.
Well, and maybe there is no answer to this, but where are they now, Clifton? Do you know?
I don't know. They did go on to put out 2 more albums. Neither one of them were as good as this, honestly. And also did not do as well as this album.
Okay.
Which is hard to believe, considering that probably nobody out there knows who this band is in the first place. I don't know what happened to them after that, honestly. Yeah. Because once again, there's no information about this band out there. Yeah. Should we do an award?
Well, I was going to ask, do you have an award?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's pretty simple on this one that this has to get the MXPX Clone Award, you know?
Okay. Yeah.
And not in a bad way. Like, they did the clone thing well. In some cases, I think better than MXPX, honestly. But it's hard to deny the accusation that they're just, for the most part, an MXPX clone. Yeah.
That's fair. Clifton, what are we doing next time?
We're going to do a short little ditty, a split EP with Roadside Monument and Polar.
2 bands that we've done before,
yes,
but obviously never together. I will say this has one of my favorite Roadside Monument songs of all time on it.
Ooh.
I'd be very curious to see what you think about it.
I've never listened to this split.
Oh, shit. This will be fun.
Wasn't it something that you that Tooth and Nail sent to people?
No, I remember I bought it in one of the
Really?
Christian bookstores. Yeah.
Man, I never remember seeing this.
And it may have been, like, I may have just gotten lucky, you know.
Yeah. Maybe they got one version, one copy of it, and you got it or something like that. Yeah. All right. No, I'm excited for this. Love both bands, obviously. And yeah, cool. Thank you for joining us for another episode of Your Music Saved Us.
If you enjoyed your time with us, please leave us a review or share this episode. Visit patreon.com/YMSU to contribute and get extended episodes. Visit our website, yourmusicsavedus.com, to find out all the ways to listen. We're on Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook. Join our Facebook group or follow us to keep up with the latest or interact with us, and send complaints and disagreements to yourmusicsavedus@gmail.com.
The music in this episode is the work of Noggin Toboggan and is used with apologies, not permission.
Da-da-da.
I don't think you can. I mean, you can listen to other stuff, obviously, on all of the streaming places, but you can't buy anything, you know?
Yeah, true.
And if you're one of those people who comments on our episodes on Patreon or whatnot, I haven't done a lot of replying lately because this time of year is crazy for me. But I have enjoyed reading them, and I always it always warms my heart to read those things. So keep at it. We appreciate it, and we'll get back to responding and talking to y'all guys soon.
There we go.
Thanks, everybody. Jesus, I hear you knocking.